I'm Ron Meyers with the Promoter.org ministry. And recently I sat down with Dr. Cameron Lewis, who was the executive producer of A Question of Faith, a film that appeared in theaters across the country. The interview you are about to see is Dr. Lewis sharing his story of obstacles, trials, tribulations in his life, and how he overcame them. And now today is a successful doctor along with an executive movie producer. So sit back, you're going to enjoy this interview with Dr. Cameron Lewis.
I'm born and raised here from Gulfport, Mississippi. This is home, so I feel free. I'm not bougie, so I definitely going to get down to nitty gritty. So this is home, So Gulfport, Mississippi. I graduated from Harris Central High School in 1999. I went to Xavier University in New Orleans, biology pre-med major. And when I finished Xavier University biology pre-med in 2003, then 2003 to 2007, I moved to Washington, D.C., and I went to dental school at Howard University at Washington, D.C. And then from 2007 to 2008, I went to UCLA in California, and I did a residency there. And then from that area, from 2008 to between 2014, I went to New York Medical College for oral and maxillofacial surgery. Now I'm here, and it's been 4 years later, and I'm back here, and this is where we start.
Well, so good to see you, but Cameron, you've got such incredible education and the opportunity to do a movie, but if I'm out there and I'm thinking, well, he's a lucky guy. He's got all the breaks out there. He's got all this education, but even a person like me, I don't have a lot of education. So does God have just as much for me without all that education as you?
God has more for you than anyone else and has more for everyone. It's more than enough. I don't look at education as a big deal. I really don't expand on that. I expand on people because I love people, and I love embracing people because that's what love is and love does. And so I don't really talk about this. Is the first time I ever had to talk about my education because I don't really talk about that at all. I really don't. But I just want people to know that tough times are hard, and it's a rough road always whenever you're going anywhere you're striving in life, things you're trying to do in life, things you're trying to succeed in life. I believe that all of us are here. We're supposed to be here to serve. You're not here to be served. We're here to serve people. And that's our job as just a person, as people, as everyone in this room. And there's so many struggles we go through every day through life, and we all have problems. I have problems, and I'm gonna tell you all about them. That I had problems, the situations I went through in life. It's just the way we view our problems. You can view your problem as a wall container, then it becomes excuses for failure. Or you can view your problem as a hurdle, then it enlightens you and strengthens you for the next battle that God has on your way for you in your life. It depends on how you view the problems that all of us face in life because we all have them. I always tell people, all the time, you don't get strength from what you can do. You usually get strength from overcoming the things you once thought that you couldn't do. That is where all the power, the wisdom, commitment, the dedication, commitment, and everything that God has gave you within yourself, and all the things He has promoted you to do and given you all the wisdom and knowledge to do. And so it all starts with the words and the words that you use. I went to school and things at Xavier. I don't know. Let me know if I'm over to draining you. I went to school and everything from Xavier, but it was times in my life where I also went through depression. It's times in my life where I'm a victim of depression because I thought that things were, I didn't know how tough things were going to get in my life. When you graduate from high school, it's like, welcome to the world. What you going to do? You're on your own now. I left my home, mom and dad, I tell you, I left at 17? And that's when the wake-up call had to hit. It's like, okay, now you have to do this, and you have to do this, and now you're on your own. Not that they left me on my own, it's just the fact that it's a lot of responsibility that came with that after you getting ready to go to college. I went through periods of times where I didn't get what I want. I went through periods of time where I didn't get what I thought I was going to try to dream to get, and it didn't come to me right away. I had a lot of failures, ton of failures in my life where I thought I was just going to succeed and I didn't. I thought it was going to work out. But like I said before, failures is stepping stones to success. It lets you know that God shows you in a direction, puts you in a direction where you should be. And you may not think that it's going to be the direction that you may want, but when he comes in your mindset and he comes and gear you in, he puts you in the right direction where it's greater than what you beyond imagine in your life. And so when I went from Xavier University to dental school, I was striving for this goal that I wanted to be this oral surgeon, and I didn't get in right away. I failed, and I failed boards. I failed exams. I moved from Xavier University to DC to Howard University straight to UCLA. UCLA, when I got there and I applied again, didn't get in again. So that's 2 failures. Then so when I go in, I moved to New York with no family, no one there. People look at the shine and they look at everything like, woo, 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 everything must be great in your life. Yeah, but I lived in a basement apartment in New York with no family. I mean, people didn't know that, when I was in New York and when you're going through a process and trying to mold yourself and trying to get somewhere in life, it's a process. It's not something where it's just given to you. That's why I know to whom much is given is favor, much is required, which is tenacity. And it really takes a lot of work and perseverance when you're doing something in life. And so I'm going through a phase when I get in New York and I'm applying. I failed again. So that's 3 failures in a row. So I'm in self-doubt. You're in depression. Then you're going into a period of where you don't feel like you have no hope. But there's one thing I did know, though. I didn't have no doubt in what God had in my life because I knew he was going to work it out. So I kept going. So I went in and I kept going. And there was New York Medical College. And I finally stepped in. There was an opportunity. I had to show myself for a whole year till they allowed me to give me a chance to say, this guy has been through enough. And they gave me an opportunity, and there it went. And, sometimes, it's the way I changed it because the fact is, it's the words that you speak. Because words truly, if you're putting positive words in people's heads and positive words in the mindset, it changes the thoughts. Words produce the thoughts. Thoughts produce the emotions, the way you feel about things. And then when you have those positive emotions, you start making decisions based on those emotions that you feel and the way you feel. Then those decisions start producing actions. Actions start producing habits. Then habits start producing character. Then once you have that godly character and good character, positive feedback you have, then it gets you right to your destiny where God wants you to be at in life. And that's what really helps and promotes to get you where you need to be. And that's what I'm thankful for. And that's what I'm really thankful for. So going through 4 years of challenging, depression, setbacks, discouragements, really knowing that you are more than a conqueror, because you really are. And knowing that you are righteous man of God and woman, you really are.
Wow, very well put. Very well. So you decide to stay in New York, and you have a practice now in New York and Connecticut?
Yes, I run 15 offices in New York and Connecticut combined.
15 offices. I say that's a little successful. So one day, do you get a phone call and say, someone reads your resume and where you see, well, we see all these failures, but we see you have faith. Would you like to do a movie with us? How did it happen?
Well, this is how it is. People practice perfectionism. That's one thing I gotta let people know. They don't see the failures because they don't know about the failure because people don't tell it. And that's one thing. I'm willing to tell you I failed. Not everyone's gonna get on the podium and tell you where they fell at. People are gonna tell you all this thing, how everything was great. I'm not here to tell you how everything was great. I want you to know if you have failure in your life, you can do the same too. People not gonna tell you that. They want you to look at them as if everything was perfect when it's not. Always look at it because healthy striving, and there's 2 things, healthy striving and perfectionism. Healthy striving is self-focused. How can I improve as a man or a woman? Perfectionism is other people's focus. What will they think about you or say about you because of what you went through? So if you're not concerned about what other people think, you practice healthy striving. If you're concerned of what people are going to say about you, then you're going to practice perfectionism. Oh, that's only going to hamper your success. Is because you want to make sure, you want to minimize, you want to practice things so everything was perfect, everything was great, so you minimize pain, shame, game, and guilt. That does nothing for no one. Not no one in this room. If your story's not told, who is going to care if you're not having the story out there? No one cared that everything was perfect in your life. You know, you want to make it look like everything was great. So the failures I told you, no one knows about them because it's not really on a resume. It's not on anybody's resume. They don't put anything on the resume unless you tell it. So if you tell it, and you got to tell the story because it may be somebody in this room that's suffering, trying to get a goal in their life, and they must have failures the same way I failed. But they got to know that because they failed, you're on your way to success, and you need to be told that. And that's the main reason why you will have anyone to come here to tell you, you can do it, and it's for you, it's up to you, it's in your mindset, and it's for you to go forward with it. And that's exactly what it is.
So how did you get contacted about the movie?
So you want to go back to the movie? Okay, he want to go back to the movie. So after I received everything from going to school education, I was always kept my mindset this was nothing but God's grace to give me the opportunity to become an oral surgeon because I never, I kept my focus there even though I failed so many times. But what the movie is, it reminded me of just having a question. I went into self-doubt. So you go into questioning your faith about a lot of things. And so the good thing about it is my plan is that I wanted to do a film about faith. And I went looking for someone to put a film about faith. And I wanted to do a question. So I was in my apartment, in my condo, and I said, I want to do a film about faith. I have to find someone. I have to find a producer. I have to find someone who's going to put a story out there to embrace lives of other people. And so when I went to a film festival, I found a producer. I found producer was Angela White, and I told exactly what I wanted to do, and how I wanted it done, and then I wanted to find a script that was basically going to touch people's lives. I need something that was going to be powerful. I need something that was going to be, that's going to catch someone's attention, and so I prayed about it, and, one thing about it is when people have problems, don't ever feel like because you have problems, you can't help no one, because that is such a myth. Every one of us have problems, and you should be able to still help someone even though you have problems, because your problem can help somebody else. Your problems are not there to defeat you. They're only there to increase you. And that is the reason why you should go for there and try to help as many as you can. So back to the movie. So I went and I wanted this story out because I knew. So we picked the script. At the beginning, I did not like the script because there was a lot of changes that needed to be in this script. There were a ton of things, medical-wise, everything that needed to be in the script. So, but it takes, when you get a script and you pick a script up, it takes a lot of work. So it takes 4 months of rewriting, So you go in, you rewrite, and they rewrite how the writer, you work with the writer. And I wanted to change, make sure me and the producer wanted to change up a lot of things with the script, which we did. It turns out that, it turned out the way it was because there was so much debt that we put into it to get it to work to where it is today. And so we wanted to make sure it went national-wide to where people could utilize and can draw attention to that and can feel the emotion as if that was you, in this film. And so I think the best part about when you're doing in filmmaking or any projects like that is the motive behind it or with the story that you're trying to get out there. The deal is that you're not doing it for money's sake. You're doing it to touch lives of people. And that's what the motive is. That's the number one part that you're trying to do because it's a whole world out there you're trying to get attention to. So much of us are going through depression. So much of us are going through different type of disparities. Some of us are going through discouragement, setbacks. But a lot of us need that motive to where you need that encouragement to someone say that you are going to make it and you shall live. and that's what we want.
So Cameron, it sounds like you had a crystal clear vision of what you wanted in a movie.
Yes.
So you had the vision. Now, was part of that vision because of the obstacles you had in your life? Did that help create that vision?
Yes, because when you have so much trouble and so much strife, you overcome certain things, and like we all have, you always want to put something out that's going to help someone who may have struggles as well.
So it's kind of like that saying, you took lemons and began making lemonade. So you had this vision for this movie, you prayed, and then God began to open doors to put you with the right people in the right place at the right time?
That's how he works. He opened the doors. Miracles, absolutely.
Wow. And you start, now when the movie starts, you're on the set and the first day of shooting, are you there? Are you there?
Actually, I was there, I was working, but I came in the next following week.
Wow. So you see that, and you see all the cameras, and you see the actors, the TC Stallings and all that. Do you have to pinch yourself once in a while and say, man, this is a dream?
I don't look at it like that. I look at it as my main, you know what I mean, the main focus. What my main focus is like, I want people lives to be touched, even through the whole. I mean, I'm not there for a show. It's basically, I just look at it as, I want something in here that's going to make sure people's lives get touched.
So kind of recapping, and I think it's good for the audience, what I'm picking up from you, that your adversity and your setbacks in life were God was beginning to put a piece of a puzzle together in you towards your destiny. And as more and more started happening in your life, the puzzle got bigger. You started having a vision to go out and help other people because of what you went through, and God gave you the vision for this incredible movie.
Right. One thing about it is when you're going through troubles and situations, it shows you, he gives you that vision to where you're trying to embrace to help others. And how you got to think about is, how are you going to do that? What is your plan to do that? You know, at the same time is, even when you're doing a film, you're also giving people jobs as well, giving them opportunities as well for them to embrace other people in their work of art, of acting. So at the same time is, you're looking at it as, you know, as a window to say, we're all doing a job here, and we're all helping, and we all have one goal that we're trying to reach for everyone.
So how long did it take from start to end, the editing and everything, to start the movie before it was going to hit out to the theaters?
To be honest with you, everything took 1 year.
1 year.
Altogether. But that's for the film to come out to theaters. That's what you're saying, right? 1 year. We wrapped September 29th, and it came out September 29th the next following year.
Wow. And so now, before it goes out to the national theaters, you did some screenings across the country?
A lot of screenings across the country. A lot of screenings. The producers and some of the marketing team did a lot of screenings across. I didn't do a lot of screenings. I worked, but they did a lot of screenings across the country, and a lot of outreach across the country. But for it to be filmed, just where the difference is, it was filmed in 15 days. You know, so that's what was filmed.
The day finally comes. It's going to be in a theater. Were you there?
I was there.
Front row seat?
I was there. I don't know about front row seat, but I was there.
Heart beating a little bit nervous?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's kind of, I don't get nervous when you're doing God's work.
So how many times while you're watching the movie were you saying things like, thank you, God, thank you, God?
A lot of times. All throughout the editing process. All the time. Give him praise and glory for it.
That's something when you're in your destiny, when you're in that zone, when you know you're doing with God, you just know that you know. And it's all coming, it's all falling in place.
That's faith. And that's confidence. Faith is confidence. Yes.
Now, for some of the movie people that haven't seen the movie, what are some of the kind of lessons that were taught in that movie? So,
you want me to give it away? Some of the clues.
No, just a little, just a teaser.
A little teaser. Okay, we could do a little bit about texting and driving. Some of you guys have seen it. Texting and driving a little bit about race reconciliation, a little bit more about prayer, which is needed, a little bit about questioning your faith, going into doubt, which I just explained, self-doubt, which we all, people go into when things happen in your life, a little bit of strife. That's summing it up right there.
The whole entire movie is incredible, but the one that was most powerful, you had to watch the whole thing, is when it really, the ending, and just, it was so beautiful, and it really is a scene that I'd like to see here in America, a lot of racial reconciliation.
Unity. I'm an advocate about diversity, and I'm an advocate about unity, and I like bringing everyone together. So when I wanted to do this film I wanted to make sure the producer realized that you have to find a way where I had every race in this film. And you have to find a way where all of us come together, because the world doesn't see us, the world sees us as division, but Christians see us as one race, And so when you come to it, and this is when I had to really stress this in, the filmmakers and everyone who was involved, is that we have to come to a where we're bringing all of us together as one. You don't really see that a lot. You see that in the world where it's all divided. And I wanted to show in this film where it brought everyone together in one, which your guys who saw it, you understand what I meant when I did that. Yes.
Christian movies, for those to be continued through Hollywood, it's important that Christians support these movies, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Well, Hollywood is not the biggest advocate of it come down to Christian films. No, because they get shocked when they do well, because of the fact they don't expect them to, because they're not the most God-fearing people. And so a lot of times you have the odds that are against you, because when you can't really talk about your faith so much when you're talking to Hollywood, because sometimes their faith is not on the same level as your faith. If you know what I mean. So a lot of times is you have to just stay consistent. And I don't know if y'all see T.C. Stalin's post a lot, and he'll tell you a lot. I refuse to compromise my values for a check. And don't ever do that, because the fact is that your values are strong and your faith is strong. Can no one write a check bigger than what God has already wrote for your life? So you don't have to compromise any value, any work, or anything that you do in your life to please someone else. Not at all.
Amen. So well put. So right now, maybe somebody out there is thinking, I've got a dream. It just seems like I can't ever get a break. Things happen. What would you tell that person?
To keep pushing through. Don't give up. To keep pushing through. Persevere. I thought the same way. in the thinking. And like I said, it starts with the words. You're going to get setbacks. You're going to get discouragements. But you have to have someone in your ear that's always giving you that positive feedback. Someone in, another deal is, surround yourself around positive people. That's bottom line. If they're negative, don't even put them in your future. Don't put them in your presence. Leave them in your past. Because your past don't want you to get to your future. So always surround yourself around positive people that's always going to keep you upheld and keep molding you and grounding you to every step of the way. So if you're one of the struggles, and how I'm struggling too, like we all are, you just keep the mold and keep grinding and keep going and keep pushing forward with the positive people that's going to be around you in your life, and they're going to always tell you to keep pushing forward. Don't ever let no one tell you can't do something, because you can. Don't ever let nobody tell you that it's not going to happen, because it will. Confidence. Faith is confidence. Trust is a commitment. Trust says no matter what happens, I believe God in all that I do. Every time.
Now, you're a little youngster here. You only graduated in '99, but you sound like a wise old man. Where did all this wisdom come from?
Well, when you went through all this trouble I went through, you understand. Your faith goes unwavering.
So struggles and adversity
Every
make
bit.
us stronger.
It's a whole lot stronger. Because I could have turned to drugs. And God showed me a different direction. I could have turned to alcohol. He gave me a different direction. I could have turned to anything and been in the jail cell, but God showed me a different direction. So whenever someone shows you a direction that they took, you to go the opposite direction where God would take you. So it's so many situations where he tests you in those situations where I could have did a different direction. All that time when 4 years of depression, I could have been strung out right there on the street somewhere. But I'm standing right next to you, telling you my situation. And so a lot of people probably would not tell you their story because, like I told you before, is don't hide your story. Tell it. Let people know. Embrace it because your story is helping someone else and you don't even realize it. You know, and that's why I tell people, anytime you need to be in the driver's seat, let God be in the driver's seat. Anytime perfectionism is in the driver's seat, shame is riding the shotgun. Fear is the backseat driver every time. And so when you put yourself and let God be in control and let him be in the center and not you in the center, don't put yourself in the center, put God in the center and let him circle everything around you in your life and it'll happen for you.
I went to lunch and church broke out. Hallelujah.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I love it. I love it.